Hi there. Today I'm going to give you two recipes in one video because I'm going to have two things, maybe three, for dinner tonight. I'm going to make Bokeumbop, which is Korean style fried rice, and I'm going to make some vegan Mongolian beef, right? Okay, so let me start by telling you what's going to be in the Mongolian beef. I'm going to use seitan. I just looked up the pronunciation, and it is seitan. It isn't Satan. It's actually a very wholesome protein. So we're going to use that for our beef, and need some soy sauce and some oil. I'm just going to use canola oil and garlic. Yay, garlic. Gonna need some ginger, and I have a little piece left from the last time I used ginger, and I think that's gonna be enough. Better be. A couple of scallions, some cornstarch, some kind of sugar, and I decided I'm gonna use some coconut sugar just because I have it and I never use it, so I may as well. It's good stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, and this is optional. You can use some chili, crushed chili flakes or dried chili flakes. This is crushed red pepper from Pinsy's. And I think that's all for the beef. Let me just take a quick look. Of course, water. Yes, that's it. Okay, for the other dish, the Bokeumbop, let's do that. This is Bokeumbop. This is yache Bokeumbop. Yache means vegetable. So for that, we're going to need some sticky rice, short grain rice, and let's see. Gonna need a potato, and an onion, some onion. We're actually gonna measure these in cups for a change. Need some carrot and some red pepper and some zucchini and a little bit of sesame seeds if you happen to have some of those for garnish. I think that's all. Need a little bit of oil. Oh, and 2 eggs. Right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get the rice cooking, because I have to have 2 cups of cooked rice. So I'm going to use my rice cooker to do that, and then we'll see what's next. Actually, I think I'm going to start with the Mongolian beef after I get the rice going. Anyway, you'll see. I have the rice going, and now we're going to work on that Mongolian beef. So I got a small bowl. I'm going to make the sauce first. So I need 2 tablespoons of sugar, and you can use any kind of sugar. Oh, you might want to see my hands. So here's where I'm going to be working. I'll bring it in closer. Okay. 2 tablespoons of oh, I left the spoon in the bag. 2 tablespoons of sugar. That's about 1. That's about 2. Okay. I don't know what I got this for, but I haven't been using it, so I like to use up what I have. And I need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and I'm using my favorite kind, even though it's Mongolian. I'm using Korean soy sauce. 2 tablespoons of that. 1, 2. And then a 1/4 cup of water, which I have right here, 1/4 cup. Okay. You could use broth if you want. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it. I just remembered. You remember that beef bouillon I showed you that I have, that I got at Sprouts? It's not real beef, obviously. This is vegetarian. Actually, it's vegan. This stuff, not beef. I'm going to add a little bit of this since this is supposed to be for beef, and seitan doesn't taste much like, well, anything really. So I'm just going to put a little bit of bouillon in, just to give it a little beefy taste. You might remember also that half of one of these is for a cup, and this isn't a cup, so I'm just going to take maybe a 1/4 of this. I have half here. I'm going to take about a half of that, just a little bit, just to add a little flavor. Optional, you don't have to do this. Okay, and just mash it. It's kind of soft. I'm just going to mash it in. Okay, set that aside. And now I'm going to take my cornstarch. I'm going to mix the cornstarch and some chilled water. And I need, how much cornstarch? Just a teaspoonful of cornstarch, so I need a different size spoon. So there's a teaspoon of that. And, oh, the chilled water. I just got some ice water, and I'm going to measure it now because it says chilled water, and I need 2 tablespoons of that. So 1, 2, and I have no idea why it's supposed to be chilled water. I've never done that before, but I'll do it. Okay, and then I'm going to set that aside. Get all this stuff out of my way. Okay, so now I'm going to open the seitan. Seitan. What a funny name. Okay, so I'm using this Sweet Earth seitan, traditional seitan. I've never used this kind before, so we'll see. We'll see if I like it. So if you're using some kind of seitan that's in liquid, you need to drain it and slice it. This one had no, I mean, it was in a vacuum sealed package, and there really wasn't anything to drain out. And this is already sliced, so I'm just gonna try to gently take the slices apart. It seems to want to tear. Okay, there we go. It's moist. So I gotta rinse my fingers. Okay, then we're gonna get a bowl, and we're gonna put 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in the bowl. And this isn't gonna be exact, doesn't matter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to coat the seitan with cornstarch. I decided I'm gonna cut it into strips, but only like this, about an inch wide. To be honest, I've never had Mongolian beef because I've been a vegetarian a very long time. So now I'm going to take these strips and put them in here with the cornstarch and coat them. Okay, there we go. Coat them with the cornstarch. Doesn't seem to be evenly coating it. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay, I've got my large skillet, and I'm going to use that to cook this seitan. So I'll start off with 2 tablespoons of oil, or thereabouts. I don't know why I'm measuring. I know what it looks like. Anyway, here it is. Get all of it. Heat that up to medium. And we're going to fry the seitan in the oil. First, I'm going to spread that out. I wanted to use the large skillet because you're supposed to put this in a single layer. And I don't know if that's going to really work even with this, but we'll see. I've got the seitan cooking almost in a single layer. You want to cook both sides till it's, you know, a little browned. And I'm not sure it's really ready to flip over. I think I'm just going to leave it a little bit because that's not really brown. And I have something else I need to do. So let's come over here. I need a teaspoonful of ginger grated, and I was going to use this, but I'm afraid that's going to chop up my fingers. So I think I'm going to use my magic bullet to pulverize that. I'm also going to need a couple of garlic cloves. I think 2. Yeah, 2 garlic cloves. So I'm going to cut off the ends and use my new garlic press. This is the first time I've used it. So here it is, my new garlic press. So you're supposed to be able to just do this, crush it. Wow. So I bought this when I saw a video on Facebook of somebody using this, and it was certainly easier for them than it is for me. But if you put enough weight on it and you keep rocking it, you'll get it. Cool. Check it out. There it is. Garlic. Okay, so let me get that, and then I'll come over here. Well, let's do this first. Flip these. Oh, yeah, that one looks better. So this right here is what you're after. See, that's a little browned. That's what we want. Okay, I'll do that and come back. As you get pieces that are browned on both sides, you can go ahead and put them in a paper towel lined plate. My burner is not very even, so You know, some areas cook faster than others. So I'm just going to keep doing this until they're all kind of brown on both sides. That's pretty good on that side. I have my seitan cooked. Now I'm going to lower the heat a little bit and add my ginger and garlic. So here's my ginger. And so that should be a teaspoonful of ginger. And that looks about right. And my garlic. Not sure how I'm supposed to get that off. Oh, okay, just scrape it. I think I like this thing. All right. Now, stir that up. And it's very fragrant. And actually, this crushed red pepper, that's not really the right stuff. You should have a dried chili, and you put a couple of them in here. But I'm just gonna give this a little sprinkle here. It's optional anyway. But I like a little heat to my food. So we're gonna cook that for just a minute. And then, yummy. I'm going to put my seitan back in the pan. I'm also adding my scallions that I cut into 1-inch pieces. That's 2 scallions. And then I'm going to put my sauce in here. And remember we had this cornstarch and water? Mine has settled, so if it settles, just stir it up and put that in. And we're going to stir that up. Now I don't really need this huge pan, but whatever. So the cornstarch is going to thicken the sauce. There. That looks delicious. Now it's time for me to, well, have a taste, actually. Oh, yummy. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off, put the lid on, and set it aside because we gotta do the Bokeumbop. Okay, I need to get my ingredients ready. So I need 2/3 of a cup of potato, and I'm gonna cut the potato into fairly small chunks, maybe 3/8 of an inch, something like that. Let's see how close we are. 2/3. You know what? I think I'm going to use the whole thing, even though it's going to be slightly over. potatoes are so good. Okay. Yeah, it's not much over. Okay, so I'm going to pile it up on my large board here, the way I do sometimes. I need the same amount of onion. My onion is quite a bit larger. So it says half an onion. Eh. Next, oh gosh. Okay, so now I need a 1/3 cup carrot. Let's see how that is, how close that is. And I had washed all these ahead of time, by the way. On the board. And then I need some sweet pepper. So I'm using red bell pepper. And I need a 1/3 cup of this, same amount here. Let's see if that'll do. I always want to do this in thirds because it comes in 3 sections. There's no seeds in here, so I don't have to worry about that. Just do it like this. All right, fine, I'll do it like this. Do it however it's going to be easier for you. There's a little stem I'm getting out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of them in half like that. And then you can slice it like this. Sometimes I do it like this. So I'm not going all the way through, so I have a little thing to hold on to. And then slice, 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 slice. And then when you get to the little thing, just cut it. And then the last thing, I think it's the last thing, is I need 2/3 of a cup of zucchini. Also cut small. So there's my 2/3 cup. Cut off the end. And let's try for that. See if that'll work. Aiming for 1/4 inch. And I'll do it just like I do a potato. On its side. Everything chopped, ready to go, and I've got my wok here on the stove. So I'm gonna turn that on like a medium high. Gonna put a couple tablespoons full of oil in here. Any kind of oil will do. I'm using canola. So a little bit of oil. Don't want too much. And then I'm going to put my onions and potatoes in there. Okay. Give that a stir. And you know me, I'm going to put the lid on. Meanwhile, got to get the eggs ready. So, over here, got my bowl, got stuff in the way. Going to put my eggs in. 2 eggs. And we're going to put a pinch of salt in the eggs. That's a pinch. And we're going to beat those eggs. You can either use a whisk or a fork. I think I'll use a fork. So just beat them up. And then we're going to set that aside and go back to the wok. Here's the wok. So we're going to cook it until this is about half done. And since I'm seeing some charring, I just turned it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. I think it needs to cook a little bit more before we do anything else. Okay, this looks about half done to me. So I'm going to add the rest of the vegetables. I don't like to do the banging. Okay. There's my carrots, sweet peppers, and zucchini. And I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay. I'm going to cook this now until those vegetables are almost completely done. Give it a couple more minutes, few minutes, I don't know. That'll make it happen faster. The vegetables look almost done to me. So I'm going to add the rice and cook the whole thing for about 5 more minutes. So I have 2 cups cooked rice, and I put a little extra since I've had a little extra of everything else. Okay. So now we're gonna cook it for about 5 minutes. Everything's gonna get totally done. All right, they look done to me, those lovely vegetables. So I'm gonna push everything aside. And I'm gonna get these eggs that I beat. I'm gonna put them here. And I'm just gonna scramble them a little bit right here. When it's almost done, I'll just mix it with everything else, and that will be our Bokeumbop. So I'm just gradually adding some rice because the egg's just about cooked. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put this in a bowl to serve it and sprinkle the top with sesame seeds.